Hello everyone, this is the fourth lecture in DC to AC converters, and in this lecture I'll discuss about the three-phase voltage source inverter. So three-phase voltage source inverter, they are used for high power applications of DC to AC converters. So in this actually uh, we are having three single phase half bridge inverter that are connected in parallel. As you have seen in the previous lecture that in single phase half bridge inverter we were using two controllable switches. So here we are using six controllable switches. So upper half and lower half. So in upper half you can see we are having three switches. In lower half we are having again three switches. Okay. So in each leg we are having two switch. Okay. So you can see this is the one leg, this is the another leg, and this is the third leg. So in each leg we are having three controllable switch, and this one is called the upper switch and this is called the lower switch. Okay, so in the same leg we should not turn on these two switches simultaneously, otherwise there will be direct short circuit across the DC input. Okay, and that could damage these switches. Okay, so in control design we must ensure that the two switches in the same leg should never be turned on simultaneously. Okay, now the gating pulses in the switches, you will find that they are the output actually you will find that they are shifted by 120 degree for balanced load. Okay, so the gating pulses for these switches are designed in such a way that the output voltage of each leg they are shifted by 120 degree, and this is the current and this is the pole voltage. This point A, point B and point C, we are typing the output voltage, and that output voltage will be an AC output voltage. Okay, we are having input side, we are having DC input, and at the output side we are getting the AC output. Okay, again we can control the magnitude and frequency if we are having uh, pulse width modulation techniques, and also we can have control on the harmonics like we have studied in the single phase edge bridge inverters. Okay, similar thing can also happen with the three phase voltage source inverter. Now with three phase inverters we are having a large number of pulse width modulation techniques like sinusoidal pulse width modulation techniques, space vector pulse width modulation technique, harmonic injection pulse width modulation technique. There are a lot of pulse width modulation techniques that are used in voltage source inverters. Okay, now the load, you can see here the load is connected in star. Similarly, load can also be connected in delta. Okay, this load could be the induction motor. Okay, or it could be three phase inverter interface with the grid. Okay, so we can have load here connected in star winding or in delta winding if we are using a voltage source inverter for induction motor drives. So normally two method of conduction that is in your syllabus. One is 180-degree conduction mode, another is 120-degree conduction mode. Okay, these two methods I will discuss in detail in this particular lecture. So basically we are having six step. This is also called as six step inverter because of the six step in the output waveform for the line to neutral voltage. So here you can see that we have connected a balance load which is having R value, resistance R, and they are equal. Okay, so this is the resistive load and inverter is connected with that. Each switch has a duty ratio of the 50%. Switching action takes place every T by 6 time interval, that is 60 degree. If we are having 360 degree, okay, one time period will be 360 degree, so every 60 degree interval there will be a switching action. No switch on the same leg are allowed to close at the same time. Okay, now the harmonic frequencies you will find in the line to line voltage, they are actually 6k plus minus 1. For example, if we substitute k is equal to 1, So that will be fifth harmonics and seventh harmonics. The third harmonics actually they will get cancelled in line to line voltages because it is three phase system. Okay, and even harmonics will be absent because the waveforms normally have even wave symmetry, that is positive half will be equal to negative half, so even harmonic component will be 0. Even harmonics and third harmonics and multiple of that will be absent from the output. Okay, so this is the sixth step inverter waveform. You can see here that in output we are getting actually 6 steps. So this is the first step, this is second step, this is third, this is fourth, this is fifth, and this is the sixth. Okay, then we again reach the same value. So this is also called a 6 step output waveform. Now you can see that the current waveform, that is IA, whenever we apply this much voltage, so the current is rising linearly. Okay, so if we apply more voltage, then the slope will increase. Okay, something like that. Then whenever we apply lesser voltage, slope will be lesser. Then whenever we apply negative voltage, the slope become negative. Now we are having two different modes of operation for three phase voltage source inverter, and they are called as 180-degree conduction mode and 120-degree conduction mode. So first I'll discuss about the 180-degree conduction mode. So you can see here one thing very important that you must remember. You can see from this figure. So we are having switching numbers 1, 3, 5. So upper switches they are named as 1, 3, 1, 3 and 5. Similarly, bottom switches they are named as 4, 6, 2. These numbering are very important because the gating pulses applied in the sequence. Okay. Again, these switches you can have MOSFET, you can have IGBT, you can have thyristor, but MOSFET switches are preferred for low power applications, whereas IGBT switches they are preferred in medium voltage high power applications. Okay, so if, again you can see we have to use bidirectional conduction switches because the controllable switch will carry current in one direction. Then we must have uh, another provision to make it bidirectional current conduction switch. Okay, so if we apply the gating pulses in the sequence, so this is G1, G2, G3, G4, G5, G6. Okay, all the 6 switches, their gating sequence is something like this. So you can observe here that G1 for example it is pi that means 180-degree conduction. So 180-degree, for 180-degree this switch will be on. Okay, next 180-degree it will be off. So half of the time it is on and half of the time it is off. Okay, then again the same thing will repeat. Now G2 will shift from G1 by 60-degree. So GT switch, this switch actually, the gating sequence in this will be shifted by 60-degree from G1. So you can see here that it is shifted forward by an angle of pi by 3. Okay, so this will continue up to here. Then next pi degree it will be off. Okay, then again the same thing will repeat. Similarly for G3, for this switch, the gate pulse again will now shift by 60-degree. So if you shift this gate pulse by 60-degree forward direction, so it will start now from 2 pi by 3. Okay, it will continue here, then for next 180-degree it will be 0, then the same thing will repeat. Similarly for G4, now G3 you have to shift by 60-degree to get G4. Similarly for G5 you have to shift G4 by 60-degree. Okay, so you can see here that it is pi plus pi by 3 here. Okay, so pi degree it is pi radian it is off, or 180-degree it is off. So you will get pi by 3 pulse here. Okay, Now for getting G6 pulse, you have to shift G5 pulse by 60 degree. So I have shifted this G5 by 60 degree here. So for pi radian, 1 2 3, one is actually 60 degree, so three division will be 180 degree. So up 1 2 3 up to here it is off, then it will be on here. Okay, so these are the sequence of getting pulses for these switches. Okay, now you can see that we can actually draw this waveform. So you can see in first interval, if we take this first interval, this second, this third, this fourth, this fifth, this sixth, so there are total 6 intervals, then the same thing will repeat. Okay, so you have to analyze this waveform for one interval, one time period. So there are total 6 intervals. Okay, each intervals are of 60 degree. Okay, so if I consider first 60 degree interval, so in that you can see G1 is high, G5 is high, G6 is high. So 1, 5 and 6, these switches will be on, remaining switches will be off. Okay, similarly in second interval you can observe G1 is on, G2 is on and G6 is on. So 1, 2 and 6 are on, 3, 4 and 5 they are off. Okay, similarly for other intervals you can observe the which switch will be turned on and which switch will be turned off. So in the explanation of three-phase voltage source inverter in 180 degree conduction, you have to draw this table. Okay, now we can find what will be the output voltage in that scenario. Okay, whenever 1 5 6 are on, what will be the output voltage? Whenever 1 2 6 are turned on, what will be the output voltage? I mean the phase voltages. Okay, once you know the phase voltages, you can find the line voltages. Line voltage, for example, if you want to calculate VAB, so VAB will be nothing but VAN minus VBN. Okay, so in mode 1 or in interval 1, where 1 5 and 6 are on, we can draw 1 5 and 6 are on. So you can see here, if 1 is turned on, so A point is connected. Okay, A point is connected with plus VDC. Okay, similarly 5 is on, that means this switch, point C. So point C is also connected plus VDC. Okay, so actually these points are connected together. Okay, similarly switch 6 is turned on, so switch 6 is here. So you can see that point B. Okay, so point B is connected to the negative terminal of the supply. So if I draw the equivalent circuit in mode 1, so point A and C are connected and they are connected with plus. Okay, similarly point B is connected to the minus. Okay, so this will be the mode 1 equivalent circuit. Now we can find what will be VAN, VCN and VBN by simply applying the uh, circuit analysis. So first we can find what will be this current that is flowing from the source voltage. Okay, so R equivalent in this case will be, so here these two resistances are in parallel, so that will become R and R in parallel will become R by 2. Okay, so then it will come in series with this R, so R by 2 plus R, 3R by 2 will be the equivalent resistance seen by this voltage source. Okay, so current will be I1 is equal to Vs upon 3R by 2. Okay, so I1 will be Vs upon 3R by 2. Okay, so from that actually we can find what will be I1. So I1 is nothing but Vs upon 3R by 2 or 2Vs upon 3R. Now we can find what will be VAN. Okay, so this current actually half will divide here and half will flow from here because these two resistances are equal. Okay, if you apply the current division rule, you will find that half of the current will flow from here, half of the current will flow from this branch. Okay, so the voltage VAN will be nothing but I1 by 2 times R. Okay, so I1 by 2, if divide this by 2, so that will be Vs upon 3R into R will result in Vs by 3. So VAN is nothing but Vs upon 3. Similarly, VCN will be also Vs upon 3 because these two are in parallel. Okay. Similarly, VBN we can find. So current in this branch will flow from left to right. Okay, from this side, from right to left. So from right to left the current will flow, but you have to find what will be VBN. So that means you have to take the negative current. So that will be minus I1 into R. So minus I1 means minus 2 Vs upon 3 R times R. So you are getting minus 2 Vs upon 3. So VAN is Vs upon 3 and VBN is minus 2 Vs upon 3. Okay. So you can see in this table VAN is Vs upon 3, VCN is Vs upon 3 and VBN is minus 2 Vs upon 3. Similarly, you can draw the equivalent circuit for all the switching states. Okay. So VAN is Vs upon 3, VBN is this, VCN is this value. Now if you want to find the line voltages, so VAB will be, that means VAB, VBC and VCA, these are the line voltages. So VAB will be nothing but VAN minus VBN. Okay. So if you subtract this value, so Vs upon 3 minus of minus 2 Vs upon 3. Okay. So you will get 3 Vs upon 3. So you are getting Vs. Okay. Similarly, VBC you can find VBN minus VCN. If you subtract these two, so you will see that minus 2 Vs upon 3 minus Vs upon 3, that will result in minus 3 Vs upon 3. That means minus Vs. Okay. Similarly, VCA you can find from VCN minus VAN. Okay. So VCN is Vs upon 3, VAN is Vs upon 3. So you subtract these two, you will get 0 value. Okay. So you can see VAN in first half cycle, it is Vs upon 3 here, and you can see here this value, that is VBN, that is minus 2 Vs upon 3, and VCN, it is again Vs upon 3. So in first interval you will find these values. So VAB is nothing but Vs. You can see here it is nothing but Vs. Similarly, for other intervals you have to find the voltage values, then plot those voltage values on phase voltage and line voltage. Okay. So you will get the waveform something like this. Okay. So this will complete one switching period. Okay. Now this will complete one cycle actually, and you can see here that the next next cycle it will start the same, it will repeat the same value. Okay. So one thing you can observe here that there are total 8 states. So each switch actually have two possibility, either it will be 0 or 1. That means it will be either on or off. So 2 to the power 3, there will be total 8 possibilities. Okay. Out of total 8 possibilities, you can see 6 are active states where we are getting output voltage, and 2 are 0 states. You can see here, if either we have to connect all the top switches, you can see 1 3 5, if all the top switches are turned on, or if all the bottom switches are turned on. You can see here 2 4 6, if all the bottom switches are turned on, in that scenario the phase voltage and line voltage, you can see here, they are having 0 values. So these states are also called as 0 states. Okay. So we are having 6 active states where we are getting output voltages, and 2 states are 0 states where we are getting 0 voltages. Okay. So I have discussed one for one interval. Remaining interval you can draw the equivalent circuit diagrams, then find the current, then voltages you can plot very easily. Okay. So for mode 2, for mode 3, the equivalent circuit have been drawn, then the voltages have been found, and you can plot VAN, VBN, VCN for first mode, second mode, third mode, fifth mode, up to sixth mode. Then after sixth mode, the same thing will repeat. Okay. So you will observe that the phase voltages, they have been shifted by an angle of 120 degree from each other. So VAN if you plot, so VBN you see one column is 60 degree. So it is shifted by 2 columns. Okay, so these waveforms, if you shift by 2 column forward direction, so you can see here it will start Vs by 3 from this value. Okay, then it will become 2 Vs by 3 here. Okay, so similarly for Vcn, you have to shift Vbn again by 120 degree. Okay, so you can see here that it is starting from this value. Vs upon 3 is starting from this value. So this point is shifted to this point. Okay, so you will get the phase voltages. So you will get the line voltage by subtracting phase voltage VAN minus VBN. If subtract these two, you will get the line voltage. Okay, so Vs upon 3 minus of minus 2 Vs upon 3, so you are getting Vs. Similarly, 2 Vs upon 3 minus Vs upon 3, so you are getting Vs. Similarly here, Vs upon 3, Vs upon 3, if you subtract, you are getting 0 value. Okay, so for 120 degree it is high, next 60 degree it is 0, then again 120 degree it is minus Vs, then next 60 degree it is 0. So it will complete one cycle, then same thing will repeat. Similarly, if you are having VAB, you can find what will be VBC. VBC will be simply shifted by 120 degree from VAB. So you can see here, now this VBC actually it is shifted by 120 degree. Okay, so VAB, if you shift by 120 degree, you will get the VBC value. Similarly for VCA, if you shift the VBC value by 120 degree, you will get the VCA. So this point now will be shifted to this point. Okay, in forward direction. If you do the Fourier series analysis of the line voltage, so if you do the Fourier series analysis of this voltage, actually you will get the VAB value to be Vs upon n pi sine n pi by 3. This is the magnitude or the peak magnitude. Now this is the sine component, sine n omega t plus pi by 6. Actually this is the fixed magnitude, this is, you will get some numerical value. Okay, now this is the sinusoidal value which is changing with time. So 4 Vs upon n pi sine n pi by 3 sine n omega t plus pi by 6. Okay, and that is for n is equal to 1, 3, 5, 7. For even it will be 0, because you can see from the waveform the positive half will be equal to the negative half. So even harmonics will be absent from the output waveform. Okay, so you are getting 4 Vs upon n pi sine n pi by 3 sine n omega t plus pi by 6. Now VBC will be 120 degree shifted from this. Okay, so you have to subtract minus 2 pi by 3 or minus 120 degree. Okay, if you do that, you will get sine omega t minus pi by 2. All other terms remain the same, only there will be shifting. Okay, so this waveform, actually this output is shifted by 120 degree from this output. Okay, similarly VCA, you can see it is again shifted by 2 pi by 3 from this. If you subtract in this minus 2 pi by 3, you will get minus 7 pi by 6. Okay, so these are the line voltages, uh, output voltage. Now if you want to find line to line RMS voltage, so you can see that output voltage you are getting. So here you can see you are getting, if I take here, yeah, this one. So output voltage you can see it is for 120 degree it is VDC, then 0, then next 120 degree it is minus VDC. So if you take RMS value of this waveform, so that will give the RMS value of the total waveform. Okay, so 1 upon 2, so you can see here we have to integrate the waveform from 0 to 2 pi by 3 Vs square d omega t. So you will get this value, that is 2 upon 3 Vs. Okay, so this is the line to line RMS voltage. Similarly, if you are to find what will be the line voltage, nth harmonic line voltage peak magnitude, so you can find from this expression. So that is 4 Vs upon n pi sin n pi by 3. That will be the peak value of the nth harmonic component. But if you want to find the RMS value, you have to divide by root 2. So RMS value of the nth harmonic line voltage will be 4 Vs upon root 2 n pi sin n pi by 3. Okay. So if you want to find the fundamental component RMS value, so you have to substitute n is equal to 1. So VL1 will be this value. Okay. Similarly, if you want to find what will be the RMS value of the fifth harmonic component, so you have to substitute n is equal to 5 here. So that will be 4 Vs upon root 2 times 5 pi into sine 5 pi by 3. So you can find the fifth harmonic component RMS value. Okay. Similarly, we can find what will be the line to neutral RMS voltage. So in a star connection, as we know that the phase voltage will be line voltage divided by root 3. Okay. So if we divide this value by root 3, we will get the RMS value of the phase voltage. Okay. So if we know the line voltage, we can also find what will be the phase voltages. Okay. So in a star connection load, you have to divide magnitude by root 3, and phase angle you have to subtract pi by 6 or 30 degree. So phase voltage actually it will lag by uh, 30 degree. Okay. So in this actually you have to divide by root 3, and in phase you have to subtract minus pi by 6. So if you divide by root 3 this value, you are getting 4 Vs upon root 3 n pi, then sin n pi by 3, then sin n omega t plus pi by 6 minus pi by 6. So pi by 6 get cancelled. So you are getting only sin n omega t. So here you can see we are getting 4 Vs upon root 3 n pi sin n pi by 3 sin n omega t. Okay. Similarly, once you know the VAN, VBN will be nothing but the same waveform but shifted by 120 degrees. So in this actually phase you have to subtract minus 120 or minus 2 pi by 3. So you can see here that it is 4 Vs upon root 3 n pi sin n pi by 3 sin n omega t minus 2 pi by 3. Okay. Similarly, VCN will be shifted by 120 degree from this waveform. So VCN will be minus 2 pi by 3 minus 2 pi by 3. That will be minus 4 pi by 3 here. Okay. Remaining things will be the same. Okay. Similarly, you can analyze for 120 degree conduction. So in 120 degree conduction, you can see each gate pulses they have been applied for 120 degree interval. Okay. So you can see G1 is for 120 degree, then G2 for 120 but shifted by 60 degree. So each gate pulses they will be shifted by 60 degree, and they have been applied for 120 degree interval. Okay. So here you can see 120 degree interval it will be on, then 240 degree interval it will be off. So 4 columns they will be off. Okay. One column is for 60 degree. Okay. Then next switching cycle will start from 2 pi and it will complete. So from here to here it will be one cycle. Okay. So G2 again shifted from G1 by 60 degree. G3 is shifted from G2 by 60 degree. G4 is shifted from G3 by 60 degree. Okay. So each switch actually they are turned on for 120 degree interval and they are turned off for 240 degree interval. That will complete 360 degree. Okay. So if you observe in first interval you can see G1 is turned on, G6 is turned on, all and other switches are off. So in interval 1, 6 and 1 are turned on, others are off. Similarly in interval 2, G1 is turned on, G2 is turned on, others are turned off. Okay, others are turned off. So you will observe that in each state actually there will be only two switches will be connected. Okay, all four switch, and you will see actually two switches will be turned on and all other switches are turned off. Okay, so that's why it is called 120 degree conduction. Okay. So you can see here it will be 6 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 5 5 6. Then again 6 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 5 5 6, and the same thing will repeat. Okay. So again doing the same thing. we have to draw the equivalent circuit. So in mode 1, you can see switch 1 and switch 6, they are turned on. So this switch is turned on, that means point A is connected to plus side of this input. Okay, plus side of this input. And 6 switch means this switch, so point B is connected with the negative side. Okay, and in switch 5 and switch 2 are turned off, so this switch is actually, this leg is not connected to any of the inputs. Okay, either positive or neither positive nor negative. So you can see here, point A is connected with positive, point B is connected with negative. Okay, and point C is actually not connected to any of the input, either positive or negative. Okay, so now you can find again the same thing. We have to find what will be the voltages, VAN, VBN and VCN. So you can see, first you have to calculate this current. So R equivalent in this case will be, so these two are connected in series. Okay, because no current will flow from this side, this is open circuit. So I1 will be Vs upon 2R. So R, these two resistances are connected in series, so total equivalent resistance will be 2R. So I1 will be Vs upon 2R. Now VAN will be I1 into R. So that means it will be Vs upon 2R into R. So that will result in Vs by 2. So VAN we are getting Vs by 2. Similarly, VBN we will get minus Vs by 2, because VBN will be minus I1 into R. Okay, if you do that, you will get minus Vs upon 2, and VCN will be 0 because there is no current here. So VCN will be 0. Okay, so you can see in the table, VAN is Vs upon 2, VBN is minus Vs upon 2, and VCN is 0. Now if you want to find what will be VAB, so that value will be VAN minus VBN. Okay, so you have to Vs upon 2 minus of Vs upon 2, so that will give Vs. Similarly, VBC will be this minus this, so minus Vs upon 2. Similarly, VCA, VCN minus VAN, so minus Vs upon 2, 0 minus Vs upon 2, so you are getting minus Vs upon 2. Similarly, you can do the analysis for remaining 6 states. Okay, so output voltage you can observe here, VAN is Vs upon 2 in first mode, VBN is minus Vs upon 2, you can see here, VBN is minus Vs upon 2, VCN is 0, so you can see in the graph VCN is 0. Okay, similarly you can draw for the remaining modes. So you will find that you are getting output waveform something like this. So Vs upon 2, this is minus Vs upon 2. Similarly, if you want to find the line voltage, so it is VAB will be VAN minus VBN. If you subtract these two, so Vs by 2 minus of minus Vs upon 2, that you will get Vs. Okay, similarly Vs upon 2 minus 0, you are getting Vs upon 2. Okay, similarly you can do the analysis for all the modes. Okay, if you carefully observe here, you can see that the phase voltage in 120-degree conduction is nothing but similar to the line voltage of 180-degree conduction, but with reduced magnitude. Here you are getting Vs upon 2. If you observe these two waveforms, so 180-degree, you can see here you are getting Vs for 120-degree interval, then next 60-degree it is 0, then 120-degree interval it is minus Vs, then next 60-degree interval it is 0. So if you compare, so phase voltage here you are getting Vs upon 2 for 120-degree interval, then next 60-degree interval it is 0, then next 120-degree interval it is minus Vs upon 2. Okay, so you are getting the same shape, but the magnitude is now Vs upon 2. So if you do the Fourier analysis of this, you will get the same result, but you have to replace Vs to Vs upon 2. Okay, so phase voltage, we can line to neutral voltage we can write directly. So this will become, so if you see here, So line voltage was 4 Vs for 180 degree conduction. The line voltage was 4 Vs upon n pi sin n pi by 3 sin n omega t plus pi by 6. So everything will remain the same. Only you have to replace this Vs to Vs upon 2. So you will get actually 2 Vs upon n pi sin n pi by 3 sin n omega t plus pi by 6. So you see here. So Fourier series analysis for 120 degree conduction, actually it will give you 2 Vs upon n pi sin n pi by 3 sin n omega t plus pi by 6. Okay. Once you know the VAN, VBN will be 120 degree shifted from this waveform. So if you subtract minus 2 pi by 3 in this, you will get the VBN waveform. You will get the VBN value. Okay. So you can see the magnitude remain the same, only the phase will be shifted by 120 degree. So this is plus 30. If you subtract minus 120, you will get minus 90 here. Okay. Similarly, VCN will be shifted from VBN by 120 degree. If you shift again this value by minus 2 pi by 3, okay, you will get minus 7 pi by 6 here. Once you know the line voltages, you can find what once you know the phase voltages, you can find what will be the line voltages. So line voltages, you have to multiply magnitude by root 3, and phase it will advance by pi by 6. Okay. So line voltages in star connection, the magnitude will be multiplied by root 3 and phase will be having plus 30 degree shifting. Okay. So multiply this by root 3, we are getting 2 root 3 Vs upon n pi sin n pi by 3 sin n omega t plus pi by 6 here. Now if you add pi by 6 in this, okay, so that will become 30 plus 30 will become 60, that means pi by 3. Okay. Now once you know the VAB, you can find what will be VBC and VCA. The magnitude will remain the same, only phase will be shifted by 120 degree. Okay. So in this actually you have to write minus 2 pi by 3. So this pi by 3 minus 2 pi by 3 will result in minus pi by 3. Again VCA will be shifted from VBC by 120 degree. So minus pi by 3 minus 2 pi by 3, that will result in minus pi here. Okay. So from this, once you know these waveforms, you can find what will be the RMS values of fundamental and what will be the RMS value of a particular harmonic component. So in numericals, if it is asked what will be those values, first you have to write these equations, then you have to calculate the values. Okay. Now if you do the comparison between 180 and 120 degree conduction mode of operation, so the advantage in this actually you can see that in 180 degree actually the output voltages you are getting of more magnitude because the switches are conducting for more number of time. But on the disadvantage part, if you see these waveforms, you can see here uh, in the same leg, you can see here. So G1 and G4, if you compare G1 and G4, this is G1 and this is G4. So you can see here there is some common point here. Okay. So if there is, because the switches takes time to turn it off. Okay. So if for example the switch is not completely turned off, G1 is not this S1 is not completely turned off, and you have turned on the S4 switch. So for some time, for very small duration of time, the both switches are turned on together. Okay. So both switches are conducting together. So in that case actually there will be possibility, there is a possibility that there will be a short circuit in this. Okay. So to avoid that, what we do, we have to provide some dead band. So first we have to completely turn off this switch, then give some delay time and turn on this switch. Okay. So that will actually complicate the control design. So since one switch conducts for 120, these switches are less utilized in 120 degree, and we are getting less output voltage, okay, as compared to 180 degree conduction for the same load. Therefore 180 degree conduction is preferred, and it is greatly used in three phase inverter. But the main issue is you have to provide some dead band. Okay. The design of an inverter requires the determination of average RMS and peak currents of the switching devices and diodes. Okay. And So 120 degrees are preferred if you want to have less complex control design circuit. Uh, Otherwise, in most of the application, you will find 180-degree conduction mode actually it is preferred. Okay. So three phase, like in a single phase inverter, for three phase inverter again we can design for pulse width modulation technique. So here instead of one reference signal you will require three reference signal. So we for VAN, VBN and VCN. So VA, VB, VC we are having three reference signal. They are shifted by 120 degree. So we are having three sinusoidal reference signal and they have been shifted by 120 degree. Okay. Then they are compared with the triangular carrier of high frequency. So based on the logic, we can actually give the gate pulses to the switches. So for example, in leg 1, there are two switch, that is switch 1 and switch 4. Okay. So whenever VA is above the V carrier, whenever magnitude of A reference signal is more than the magnitude of the carrier signal, we have to turn on switch S1. Otherwise, we have to turn on the switch S4. Okay. Similarly, in other legs, we can design the logic, okay, to create the gate pulses for the waveform. Okay. So in 180 degree and 120 degree conduction, actually there will be more lower order harmonics like we have seen in the single phase H bridge inverters. So there will be more lower order harmonics and their magnitude actually comparable with that of the fundamental component. So to remove that harmonics, uh, we have to use again the pulse width modulation techniques where the switches are turned on and turned off more number of times and the harmonics will be shifted as band on the carrier switching frequency. Okay, carrier frequency. So if you have selected 10 kilohertz carrier, then the harmonics actually will be shifted at 10 kilohertz, 20 kilohertz, 30 kilohertz, like that as sideband. So you can see here that we are having a reference signal. This is for phase A. Then 120 degree if we shift, we will get the phase B reference signal. Again, if we shift phase B reference signal by 120 degree, we will get the phase C reference signal. Okay. Now we are having one carrier signal uh, which is having very high frequency. You can see here the frequency of this carrier is very high, and based on the logic we can actually design the gate pulses for the switches. Then we can obtain the output voltages like that. Okay. So these are some of the hardware results that you can see that line to line voltages they are coming like this, and output voltage you can see here it looks like a more sinusoidal waveform. Okay. And output current because if we use uh, the you can see here it is more sinusoidal. Okay. So here switching frequency is considered to be 20 kilohertz. So more the switching frequency you will take, better the output waveform you will get, but you will have more switching losses in that case. Okay. So this is all about three phase voltage source inverter and pulse width modulation techniques and 180 degree 120 degree conduction modes of three phase voltage source inverter. Okay. Thank you.